Good morning, dear children. Today we are going to start with the first chapter of our literature reader. The name of the chapter is Three Questions, written by Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy was a Russian novelist who has written a number of novels. Three Questions is also one of his masterpieces, which we are going to study today. So let's start with the chapter. Three Questions. The thought came to the certain king that he would never fail if he knew three things. These three things were: what is the right time to begin something? Which people should he listen to? What is the most important thing for him to do? The king therefore sent messengers throughout the kingdom, promising a large sum of money to anyone he would answer these three questions. Many wise men came to the king, but they all answered the questions differently. In reply to the three questions, some said, King must prepare a timetable and then follow it strictly. Only in this way, he said, could he do everything at its proper time. Others said that it was impossible to decide in advance the right time for doing something. The king should notice all that was going on, avoid foolish pleasures, and always do whatever seemed necessary at that time. Yet, others said that the king needed a council of wise men who would help him act at the proper time. This was because one man would find it impossible to decide correctly without help of others the right time for every action. There were different answers given by the different countrymen to the king, but you can see the king was not satisfied with the answer. The very first page we have come across, there was the answer to the very first question which the king asked through his countrymen. Now we are going to get the answer to the second question. But when others said that there were some things which could be urgent, these things could not wait for the decision of the council. In order to decide the right time for doing something, it is necessary to look into the future, and only magicians could do that. The king therefore would have to go to magicians. In their answers to the second question, some said that the people most necessary to the king were his counselors, others said the priest, and the few others chose the doctors. And yet, others said that his soldiers were most necessary. So, with these answers also, the king was not satisfied. Now, we shift to the third question. Let's see what was the answer to the third question. To the third question, some said science, others chose fighting, and yet others religious worship. So, he got the answer to the three questions, but he was not satisfied with the answers. As the answers to his three questions were so different, the king was not satisfied and gave no reward. Instead, he decided to seek the advice of a certain hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. So finally, he decided to go into the woods where he could find and meet the hermit. The hermit lived in a wood which he never left. He saw no one but simple people. And so the king put on ordinary clothes before he reached the hermit's hut. And king left his horse with his bodyguard and went on alone. As the king came near the hermit's hut, now hermit is a sage who lives in the woods. He saw the hermit digging the ground in front of his hut. He greeted the king and continued digging. The hermit was old and weak, and he worked with breath heavily. He was breathing heavily because he was very old. That is why by doing this labor he couldn't breathe normally. The king went up to the hermit and said, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you the answer to three questions. How can I learn to do right thing at the right time? Who are the people I need most? And what affairs are the most important? So these were the three questions for whom the king was seeking the answer from the hermit. The hermit listened to the king, but he did not speak. He went on digging. You are tired, said the king. Let me take the spade and work in place. Now, spade is a tool with which we dug the ground. Thanks, said the hermit. Giving the king his spade, he had sat down on the ground. When the king had dug the two beds, he stopped and repeated his question. The hermit gave no answer, but stood up, stretching out his hand for the spade, and said, Now you rest and let me work. But the king did not give the spade and continued to dig. 1 hour passed, then another. The sun went down behind the trees, and at last the king stuck the spade into the ground and said, I came to you, Wise man, for an answer to my questions. If you can give me the answer, let me so, and I will return. Here comes someone running, said the hermit. The king turned around and saw a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which the blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound under his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. The man felt better and asked for something to drink. Now this wounded man felt better after the king has nursed him. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. But this time the sun had set and the air was cool. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his walk and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. When he woke, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. Forgive me, said the bearded man in a weak voice, when he saw that the king was awake. I don't know you and have nothing to forgive you, said the king. The king was really surprised because he has not done anything, he has not taken anything from that bearded man, and to his surprise, and he got confused why this particular man is asking for forgiveness. Let's see what was the reason there. You do not know me, but I know you. I am an enemy of yours who swore revenge on you because you put my brother to death and seized my property. Seized my property, the word seized means to take something by force. I knew you had gone alone to see the hermit, and I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. But the day passed and you did not return. So I left my hiding place and I came upon your bodyguards who recognized me and wounded me. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. I wish to kill you, and you have saved my life. Now, if I live, I will serve you as my most faithful servant and will order my sons to do the same. Forgive me. Now, this was the reason why this bearded man was asking for the forgiveness, because he had in his mind that he was about to kill the king once he's going to come out. But because the king has helped him when he was in trouble, so now he's asking for forgiveness, and he promised the king that throughout his life and even his sons will serve him as long as they live. This is for the act of kindness which king has done towards him. The king was very happy to have made peace with the enemy so easily, and he have won him over as a friend. The king was really happy that the long enmity which was between him and the bearded man, it has come to an end, and in return he had got a very good friend also. He not only forgave him but said he would send his servants and his own doctors to look after him, and he promised to give back man his property. This is something good which the king had decided. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked around for the hermit. Now again, king started looking for the hermit. Why was the king looking for the hermit? Because he wanted to know the answer to his 3 questions. Before going away, he wished once again to get answers to his questions. The hermit was on his knees, sowing seeds in the beds that he had been dug the day before. The king went up to the hermit and said, "For the last time, I beg you to answer my questions, wise man." "You have already been answered," said the hermit, still bending down to the ground and looking up at the king as he stood before him. "How have I been answered? What do you mean?" Now king was really surprised. He said, "You have not given me a single answer and you are saying me that you have already been answered." So he was a little bit confused and he really wanted the hermit to clear the things. "Do you not see," replied the hermit, "if you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. Then that man would have attacked you and you would have wished you had stayed with me. So he says, if you would have not helped me and you would have left me in between and you would have gone back, that man would have attacked you and you would have been killed, and that enmity which has come to an end would have not come to an end. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds, and now I was the most important man, and to do me good was your most important business. So at that particular time, who was the most important person? Hermit was the most important person, and what was his most important task? His most important task was digging the beds for him. Afterwards, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him, because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. Now here he means that what was the important time, what was the important business at that particular time when the wounded man came? It was the thing what the king had done. He had nursed the wounded person, and he has dressed his wound, and he has saved him from dying. If he would have died, the enmity would have prolonged and it would have not come to an end. So he was the most important man, and what you did for was your most important business. Now he says, and what you did, you dressed him and your enmity was ended. This was your most important business at that particular time, to nurse the wounded man. Remember then, there is only one time that is important, and that time is now. It is the most important time because it is the only time we have any power to act. Now, according to the hermit, that present time is the most important time. Whatever action we do during this time, that is only because we have the power to act in that, something good, something bad. If we do something good, that is going to prolong. If we do something bad, then there is no way to return and rectify the thing. So we should utilize our time in a very positive way. The most necessary person is the person you are with at a particular moment, for no one knows what will happen in the future and whether we will meet anyone else. The most important business is to do that good person, because we were sent into this world for that purpose alone. So children, what is the moral, what is the basic value we learn from this chapter is that the present time which we all are in is the most important time, because if once the time is lost, it cannot be regained. So whatever we have to do in the present time, make maximum use of that time and in a very proper way. So always we should value the time and the person whom we are with at that particular time. Thank you.